Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. Today is another exciting day in the development of this wonderful and amazing Arrowhead app for managers. If you're a new manager or even like a somewhat experienced manager and you're having a hard time managing projects and people, then this is the place where you want to be. Um, hmm. Thing is that like a lot of people have project management software. And they might be asking, like, well, why should I use your software when I already have project management software? And I would say that although there may be other kinds of software that you could use and that your company is asking you to use, this software is like also helpful. This is a piece of software that you can use on your own to make sure that you are completely on top of your projects and your people. And then once you use these brainstorming um, we call them, I guess they're called modules when I was working with them. There's basically these four modules, maybe five modules which you can use in order to make sure that you are 100% on top of the five most important muscle groups that you need to develop as a manager. Now we're now working on a project right now. Like I'm doing a software project, and this software project is to create this software application. So what are we going to do? We need to use our own thinking methodology in order to make progress with this project. So I'm just going to share my entire screen. Here we are. And let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. All right, so as you can see, my cursor yesterday, all the work gave us 84 out of our 500 monthly fast request quota. Now, it's really important for me to have those 84 fast requests because when I was doing this project, I was actually working. I had a guy behind the scenes that I was talking to, and by talking to this guy behind the scenes, he's a software programmer. I wouldn't necessarily say that he did much in the process of what we were doing. He was kind of just sitting there watching me. And then I would tell him what I'm going to do. And then he would be like, he's like, well, I don't know about that. And then I would just do it anyways. And then I would like tell him what I'm going to do next. And then he's like, okay. And then, at least it gave me somebody to talk to. And also it gave me somebody to talk to who really understands um, software. So if I did run into a problem, I could definitely ask him. Now, huh. So what is going on here? Now, before we jump into that, so okay, so yeah, we used 84 out of 500 fast requests. I'm going to keep on using these fast requests until they've all been used up, and then we'll be back onto the, I guess, on slow requests. Not really sure exactly how it works. Um, do I actually need these extra fast requests? What's the benefit of extra fast requests? I don't know. So we're not there yet. Let's handle that problem when we get to it. Then we got our Superbase tab open, and it has our project. It's called Arrowhead MVP. Then, so we got this thing, which is supposed to show our app. It's not showing our app right now. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. We got the Create Crucial Insight book, which is the inspiration and the foundation of the thinking behind this whole project. We got the Arrowhead app. This is a subset of Create Crucial Insight and 4 years of intense research and at least 8 years of research. And here's our PDR, our product requirements doc. So this is what happened. I had a meeting with this guy. So okay, so this is he asked like, okay, what does your app do? Like, what are you trying to do here? I said, all right, well, let's open the app and have a little chat. So I said, okay, so the vision is, what's the purpose of the project? Well, it's to create a mobile app. And then what do you hope to achieve? And gain 100,000 users by September. I mean, I don't know if that's the right answer, but that's the thing is you could write anything you want in the vision section. And maybe in a week from now, we're going to revisit this vision and then we can have another chat about like what it means to have a vision. So what we could do here is, all right, so what's the project name? Obviously the project name is Arrowhead 1.0. And then what? So that's the project. All right, so if we actually had, if we're on the main page of the app, we would be looking at this thing here. So we just click the project button and then we're creating a project. So let's just take this down to the P. All right, so then above here, we're going to write the word projects. Good. And let's put a line in there. Now, technically, this should have an arrow in it to take us to the next screen. And then these are 3 dots. And then this is, so we don't really need the 3 dots because I can just edit and I can rename, I can delete, I can do all of that without the app. And the arrow, I don't really need the arrow either. All right. Now, I don't really like the way that this looks here because I think that in the future, I might make some changes. So what we could do is we can create a little table. And then I'm going to pull in this vision image into this section. All right, so we are, all right, now that I create a vision, that is also going to add something to our history. So we just added a V to our history. And what are we going to call this? So it's going to be create the mobile app. And then what? And then I'm going to take these things from here and delete this. All right. So do I need all those questions? I don't know, maybe. Let's just do it like this for now. All right, there we go. Now, I wouldn't mind making these into bullets. I think the easiest bullets is numbers. Okay. Creating a mobile app, gain 100,000 users by September. What's project management? Number 3, the market you're competing in, project management. Apps. New managers looking for basic project management skills. Processes. Muscles. Clean project management software environment that helps people manage projects. Okay, good. Clean. So that's basically you're saying clean. That's your answer. How are you going to win? Clean. Cleanliness is going to help us win. Right, there you go. So we just created a vision. Now it looks like we also have an objective. So that's going to create an O. And what does this objective look like? So I'm just going to do the same thing. Then we're going to throw the objective little thing in here. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Now I'm just wasting the time. Sorry, I've been wasting everybody's time. Because what I wanted to do was actually, I wanted to make a difference between objective and scoreboard. All right, so let's throw in the objective. Great. Now, another way to do this is to copy and then paste it without formatting. That'll make it a little faster. Okay, so what's the objective you want to talk about? Developing an app with cursor, connecting to Touchbase. Decide whether to create an app first and create the database, and then create the database and connect it, or create the database first. What are the steps to accomplish? If somebody asks, talk to cursor and find out how to create this app, when to connect it to Superbase. You need a Superbase account, cursor, LLMs. You need to talk to LLMs to understand how to do this. What skills are needed? Understand the project, software development, LLM prompting. What digital tools are needed? I don't know. Who will you contact? So the guy I've been talking to, his name's Suleiman, which is a very Muslim name. All right, so we're cooperating with Suleiman. And there you go. So that's the objective. So we could put a line here. Maybe I'm going to put it in here because I might want to add another objective into the future. And I'll just put it above. So what do we added an O, and then what's this? So this was about Superbase. What is it called? Database. And we basically kind of did that yesterday. And then we created a scoreboard. All right. Now, I would say that the vision, probably we want to reorder the vision and put it below, which means this section here is going to be put below objective. And then the scoreboard, we can delete this one. All right, so now we just created a scoreboard. Now, scoreboard is actually a subset of objective. Yeah, because I want the scoreboard attached to the objective. You're not going to have a scoreboard without an objective. So this kind of creates an issue. And what's the issue? Objective. All right, so let's put the scoreboard underneath the objective. Well, actually, it's attached to this objective. So it's going to be a problem with, See, this is why I can't use Google Docs. It's because once I put a scoreboard in here, all right, so first talk to the LLM about the project and ask what to do to begin the design process. Check the UI, connect Superbase and testing. All right, so we did everything. We completed all this. Now, so that's the thing, is that we completed this objective. So let's put a special character. All right, so we just completed that. Now the issue here is that I need to create a new objective, but I'm not really sure what that objective is going to be. And that's actually what I want to talk about today. And that's the whole purpose for this video, actually. What the heck? Okay. Yeah, so that's the purpose of the video today, is because I wanted to this is where we are. This is the reality of my project. This is exactly where we are right now. And so you can see down here, I have all these different things I can add to my Google Doc. And then here's me, and this is my grandpa. This is my grandpa James. And this is my father. This is his sister or brother. I guess that's his sister. That's my grandma. So you can see this is my grandfather on my father's side. This guy, Alfred Newby, this goes way back. This goes back to the 1800s. So it's like this guy was born in Smithwick, and then his son traveled from England to Salt Lake City. And then here's Jean Chrétien. And then Gordon, that's my dog. So that's what we got for our dashboard right now. All right. So I didn't complete the vision. I didn't create the mobile app yet. So the question is, what's the next step in developing this mobile app? Now, technically, it would be to create another objective here. Like if you either know what the objective is or you don't know what the objective is. And I would say that I don't quite know what the objective is. So what do you do in the case when you don't really know what the objective is? And I would say that I would suggest doing a Touchbase. Touchbase. Now, I don't know. We're just going to put Wednesday 19 Mar 1313. So I just clicked Touchbase. I didn't rename it yet. And we're going to insert a table, and we're going to throw our Touchbase into here. There. So we just created our Touchbase. This is all in this project here. Here's our history. This is what we're doing right now. And the question is, yeah, so what are you working on? I'm working on, well, there's a couple of things that I'm working on. So the thing is that like there are some issues with the profile page. And the sign up user and login features have issues. Other issues with the profile page. And then Now, when I was creating the PRD, there's an essential issue, which is, let's say that I open the app, and we know that the main menu looks like this. Now, if the main menu looks like this, then it's actually possible for me to click Touchbase without creating a project. So let's say that I open up the app and I haven't selected a project. The question is, what happens when you click one of the 5 modules on the main menu? If a project is not yet created, or if a project has not been selected. You see, because even if I have a project, the name of this project is name. You can see that this project has been selected. Now, imagine that I do have this project, but the thing is that, you see here it says always open to an unpopulated menu. What does that mean, to always open to an unpopulated menu? It means that if I open up the main menu and it's unpopulated, it means that there isn't a name in this project here. And if there isn't a name in this project, and then I click, for example, I click Touchbase, then the question is, what happens? And this is, I spent a lot of time talking to ChatGPT, the O3 model, and in order to create the PRD. So inside the PRD, we actually have a long discussion about how this issue is resolved. All right, so I'm going to ask Cursor about this. So add the context. I want to add the PRD. And there is a lot of details about what happens when a module, for example, Touchbase, brainstorm, choose, objective, and scoreboard, which is the objective, and vision. There is a lot of details about what happens when a module is clicked, but the project has not been selected. For example, there are 2 situations for how this might happen. One, a person opens the app for the first time and no project has been created. The person clicks Touchbase. The screen navigates to the Touchbase module. In the background, a T and a timestamp is added to the history and is connected to the user in the database. The issue is that the project hasn't been created. In the project requirement document, we stated that when a module is created, it automatically creates a project and a record of the project is listed under projects in the main menu, and the item in the history is associated with that project, and that project is associated to the user. 2, person opens the app and always, and can't see it, and always open to an unpopulated menu has been selected in the profile. In this case, when the main menu is opened, there is no project listed next to the text project. And therefore, when someone clicks a module, the software, the code should allow for the process which I discussed above regarding 1, and also is talked about in the PRD. All right, so you see what's going on. Now, the question is, like, what do I do? Is this an agent or is this an ask? I guess it's an ask. How would you suggest to make changes in the code so that this workflow is possible? Okay, so it's going to work on that. So what happens when you click one of the 5 modules on the main menu if the project is not yet created or if the project has not been selected? All right, so what's going on right now? We just did a Touchbase. Now the question is this Touchbase associated with the objective, with any objective? And the answer is technically no. Because this Touchbase, we completed our last objective, and now we haven't yet created our new objective. And we're not going into the objective module, right? So which objective would you like to talk about? I mean, what's the difference between an objective and a Touchbase? So in this case, I'm just like listing, the question is, what are you working on? So what's the difference between the question, what are you working on and what are you going to do today? And which objective would you like to talk about? And what are the steps to accomplish the objective if you were to delegate it to someone else to do? You see, it's literally the same question, but it's like a matter of scope. This one forces you to think about what are you working on right now, and then like what are you going to do today. And then this one is like, if the mountain is a little taller, and if you might not be able to do it today, then like how would you describe this objective? So that's the thing, is you could start with a touch base if you have an idea for what you want to work on. See, this is actually more than one. This is more than one issue. This is a profile page, and then we also have this one, which is a. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to put a line across here, and then what's it called? So it's like create a touch base. Create touch base when no project. And then this one is profile page issues. Now in the app, it wouldn't work like this, because basically what you'd need to do is you'd have to copy the text. So we need to add a copy button. Copy text, and well, you wouldn't actually do that. You just duplicate it. So what I would do here is I would duplicate the touch base, and then I would go into this one and I would delete this the first section, and then I would go back into the first one and I would delete this first section. So now I have these two different touch bases. One is here and one is here. So let's put a title on this one. And a title in this one. So this is why the software has an advantage. It's doing the same thing. The database, this is basically what the database looks like. But then the software gives you a different user experience, so that I'm not looking at both of them at the same time. I'm just looking, I click one or I click the other one. Okay, so that's the point. So the point is what? The point is, if you know what you're working on and you know what you're going to do today, then you just start working. And what do I need help with? Well, I don't know. I don't really need help. Like I need help with what? I need help with like restructuring the software. And then what are some potential sources of assistance? So I'm going to use Cursor and talk with the agent /ask. And can we update a status? All right, so this is the point. So the point is, like, I don't actually have an objective at this point, because like I'm just working on one thing. So we can go in two different directions at this point. We can just say, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, we got some issues, and just straight go to work right now, or we can create a new objective and a new scoreboard. Let's create a new objective. And like an objective, it's a representation of a milestone. The question is, what's the first milestone? What's the next milestone? All right, so then we're going to put that into our objective section as a title. And I don't have the answer for that, because I want to go back to working on this problem. What is going on here? Oof. All right. Auto project creation implementation from I can see the auto project creation workflow from your PRD is a critical feature. When the user clicks a module without a project selected, we need to automatically create one. Here's how you implement this. Update the main menu component. First, let's modify the main menu to handle module clicks correctly. All right, so this is the issue, right? Because I have no idea what this is doing. I can't read this code. I have no idea. So I just have to assume, okay, then each module component needs to handle the case when it's access to a newly created project. Here's an example of the Touchbase model. Update the profile settings for always open to an unpopulated menu. Finally, make sure the profile settings properly save and apply to always open unpopulated menu in the future. The app component should apply the user's preference when loading. This implementation provides the complete workflow described in your PRD. When the user clicks a module button without a project selected, a new project is automatically created with a timestamp-based name. A history entry is created for the selected module. The user is navigated to the module screen. The always open to an unpopulated menu setting is stored in the user preferences table, is loaded when the app starts. The ensures the main menu opens without a project selected. Ensures the main menu opens without a project selected. This implementation means, okay, so we're going to apply all. And we're going to accept all. All right, so how do I see? I don't get this. Like, it doesn't. Is there a way that I can keep the app running in my Chrome browser and don't need to start it every time before it starts working? Keeping your React app running without restarting. Yes, there's several ways to keep your app running without. Here's some options. Simplest solution, use a process manager. Install PM2. The process manager is known application keeps your app running in the background. Deploy a local server. You can build an app and serve it locally. Deploy a free hosting service. Use a browser extension, web server for extension. Make a desktop app. Simple solution I recommend is using PM2 option 1, which will keep your development server running in the background without requiring you to keep a terminal. Okay. All right, let's just agree with it. Why is your app disappearing? Your app is. Okay, I thought that's what we did. All right, so there I was using the ask, and now I'm changing it to the agent. So it explained the whole situation, and it said it can't run it for me. So then we changed it to the agent because uh, I'm just assuming that it can do it. Let me check if PM2 is installed on your computer. Let's run it. Let's run it. Okay, so what's happening right now? I'm starting to get used to this process of like, okay, great, PM's installed. Let's okay, accept. Eesh, I have no idea what's going on now. Perfect. Your React app is now running. Continue running in the background. Oh, it's decided to restart it. Current status is now running. This means your app will run when you close the terminal window. The app will keep running even when you close the terminal window. It will restart automatically. If it crashes, it will be available to manually stop or restart your computer. Useful commands. Check the status of all the running processes. View detailed logs. Stop the app. Restart the app. Make pube start at the open Chrome. Navigate to there. This don't need to start. There's no need. If you refresh, the app will still be available. Okay. All right. So this is vibe coding, right? This is like the errors that you've referenced. Submit in the first form component, but it's not defined anywhere. Let's fix that. So the vibe coding, it's like you're just vibing. I guess that's what that means. But I think the vibe coding, for some people, it's like you don't really have the idea fully worked out in your mind, which is not exactly what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is like I spent a lot of time like thinking through the features of this app. And then I also have a very clear understanding of how to do the app, how to work with the app in my real work process. And now I just want my real work process to turn into a software experience. So we're still here. We're still now. I'm not going to do the profile page issue right now. So I'm going to put this a little bit higher. In fact, I'm going to move the milestone also down a little bit because I want the touch base to be at the top of my screen. So this is the advice I got from Y Combinator. They're like they said, I want to see you working with your piece of software. The reason that you're creating the software is because you use it yourself and it's solving real world problems. All right, let's get this thing, ticks there, saves it to there, navigates there. The app should now compile without on submit not defined error. The PM should automatically detect these changes, reload the app here, you can access. Okay, so the way that they're saying is that if I refresh this screen, it works. All right. I refreshed the screen and it's showing me the main menu. Have I already logged in as a user? Is it connected to Supabase? Which user is being shown? Whose data is this? When I open the app, if I'm signed in, then I should see the page based on the selection of profile. Always open to an unpopulated menu, or always open to where I left off. Can you read how many users are registered in Supabase? So as you can see, there's two main issues that I'm trying to solve right now. The first issue is related to when you open up the app, what happens if you click these buttons? And we want to make sure that everything is set up properly, because all of these things are going to be connected to a database, which means that the database has to be structured properly. And the other issue is that, well, if we're structuring it according to a database, then the database has to be connected to a user, and the user has to be connected to an email address. And so I want to make sure that the app is looking at the data based on a specific user. And then next is how to create projects on top of that user. I don't know. Let's see. Accept this. Oh, that was two. All right. So we just switched to YOLO mode, which means that it's gonna be more automatic. It's gonna do things. So I would say that YOLO, according to me, how I think about the situation, um, is that I would I think that what I want to do is I want to control things with agent or ask. So that's a difference when I'm asking a question because I want it to think about it and do it, or because I want it to explain to me what we should do, and then I make a choice. Now, but when it actually comes to like now, and I want you to execute the function the decision which we've made. For that, I prefer YOLO because as you can see, it's like I don't know what it's saying. I don't know how to read all this stuff. So just do the thing which we've decided that you are going to do, and then let's look at the result. We can always go back. We can go back up to like a previous part of like here. We could restore this checkpoint. We can go back, but since I can't understand a lot of this stuff anyways, it's mostly just let's talk about what's possible with the ask, and then once it's time to do something, we can switch to the agent. But agent is YOLO. Just do the thing which you're supposed to be doing. All right, so let's let it work. Yeah, definitely we want to keep it up with the fast requests because this is way too slow. All right, so let's return briefly back. I think we're starting to wind down this video. Um, creating the touch base. So we're still working on this one here, creating the touch base when there's no project. But it's like very tightly connected to the profile page issue. Now let's jump back down to the milestone because now I see that this is actually connected to this milestone. So what's the milestone? The milestone is that we want to make sure the database is properly structured. User project module. And we want to make sure the profile page is working properly. And profile page features work. So what are the steps to accomplish the objective if you're to delegate it to someone else to do? Yeah, we're just basically using uh, ask and agent in cursor, and the thought process that was developed when creating the PRD, product requirement document. What additional business services are needed? None right now. Skills is just using cursor, additional tools, cursor, and Supabase. Who am I going to contact? Nobody right now. So for now, this is it. This is the objective. And in this objective, we've done 2 touch base. Now this brings up an issue because we actually have 2 touch base items. They're different. Now, once you have 2 touch base items, then it means that we need to create the scoreboard. But I don't really want to put the tasks in there right now. I want to complete this objective without using the scoreboard. And I know what to do. I need to just work through these 2 different touch bases. All right, so what do I do here? and just leave it, right? Because it's gonna just work on it itself. All right, anyways, I got a meeting I got to go to in 10 minutes. So we're going to end the video here. We got pretty far. Let's stop sharing the screen. And, oh, interesting. So you can't actually see the corner when I was telling you about Alfred Newby, and you don't see the other two pictures of Jean Chrétien and Gordon, which is fine. I can show you Jean Chrétien. This is the picture of Jean Chrétien. Yes, I'm a healthier than Biden, and I think I have a little more judgment than Trump. Yeah, go Canada. All right, see you guys. As you can see, I'm smiling because, we finally get to the vibe coding, and now we're like starting to turn the PRD into actual code. So, yeah, things are starting to move. Good to see you guys. We'll talk to you next time. Space between ideas.